Hello, and welcome to Propel Your Business with Integrated Chat. Today's webinar is sponsored by Sendbird and produced by Actual Tech Media. My name is Scott Becker. I'm from Actual Tech Media, and I'm excited to be your moderator for this special event. Now, before we get to today's great content, we do have a few housekeeping items that will help you get the most out of this session. First off, we want this to be an informative event for you, so we encourage any questions in the questions box in our webinar control panel. Not only will we have team members responding to questions during the live event, but we'll also have a dedicated Q&A session at the end of the presentation where we'll discuss in greater detail some of the top questions that you ask. That Q&A panel is also the place to let us know about any technical issues that you may be experiencing. A browser refresh is going to fix most audio, video, or slide advancement issues, but if that doesn't work, just let us know there in the Q&A and we'll provide further technical assistance. Now, next, in the handout section of your webinar control panel, you'll find that we're offering several resources, and I'd especially like to call your attention to a link to get started with Sendbird. Also in that section, you can find a link to the Actual Tech Media Guerrilla Guide Book Club and the ATM Event Center, which has our calendar of upcoming events. So I encourage you to access those resources, especially that Sendbird link, and share them with your friends and colleagues. Now, at the end of this webinar, we will be awarding a $250 Amazon gift card to one lucky registrant. Of course, you must be in attendance during the live event to qualify for the prize. The official terms and conditions of today's prize drawing can be found in the handout section. Just scroll to the bottom and you'll find the prize terms and conditions link there. Now, finally, one of the best benefits of an event like this is the opportunity to ask a question of our expert presenter. So to help encourage your questions, we have a special additional prize for you. That's another Amazon gift card, this one for $50 for the best question. So after the event is over, we'll look through all the questions that came in, pick out the very best one, and contact that prize winner. So with that, let's get to today's fantastic content. I'm excited to introduce you to our presenter today, Joey D'Antoni, who's a VMware vExpert, Microsoft Data Platform MVP. And Joey will tell you a little bit more about himself here in a minute, but I'll just say, I've been asking Joey to present as a guest speaker at every opportunity for years. He's fantastic at conveying technical topics, and I always learn something from him. So we're in great hands today. Joey, welcome.
Thanks, Scott, and welcome, everyone. Today's presentation is going to be on kind of a little bit more business topic than a technical one, but integrating chat, how a chat platform can help propel a business model. And surely you've been on websites that have that little chat box that you frequent. Sometimes it's a bot, sometimes it's a real human. You may have even used that live chat, maybe to talk with an airline or talk with a business to try to answer questions about a product before you bought it. But have you ever considered adding live chat to your own business's customer service and sales tools? Live chat has a lot to offer companies that market products and or services on the web, on your website. It can extend your customer service. It can be really helpful. In this age of instant gratification, being able to answer those customer questions and address their concerns in real time not only helps reinforce the fact that your company cares about its customers, driving that customer service and those NPS scores, but it also can help you increase sales and garner better customer adoption. So typically the way this works, and just to give you an overview of what we're going to talk about today, and we'll dive into some deeper detail. Live chat's a web service that allows your customers to communicate in real time with someone from the company whose website they're visiting. In many cases, this can be a bot for initial contact and filtering. And if your bots are designed well, they'll maybe hit a knowledge base and then quickly, hopefully, pass on to a human who can provide better support that maybe the bot can't. And these are designed to, provide immediate customer support, answer questions, and help customers maybe decide on product decisions. And there are a number of benefits of using these. Live chat will help increase your conversion in sales. Because you're able to answer questions immediately, this chat leads to potential customers becoming customers. Sometimes you can convert up to 4 to 8x more leads from your existing traffic. One interesting study from Lead Chat said that customers who use a website's live chat function are more than 3 times more likely to purchase that site's products or services than customers who don't use it. Live chat also improves your customer satisfaction levels. Just seeing the chat button and knowing it's an option inspires confidence in your customers. And you're providing an opportunity for a two-way conversation. You're no longer just giving a knowledge base or preaching to your customers about the benefits of your product. You're sharing ideas. This also can help you increase your customer service efficiencies. It's easy to set up, and it can lower your cost than other communications vehicles like call centers or social media, which doesn't always scale too well. In addition, with chat, one customer service person can interact with multiple customers simultaneously, probably up to 4 or 5 customers, while still offering the feel of one-on-one service. That's something that you just can't do on the phone. So this can really increase your operational efficiency. One of the kind of interesting things and that I find very interesting as a data person, you can also analyze your chat transcripts and measure and improve those interactions with people that are visiting your site. This can allow you to identify common problem areas or places where there are gaps in knowledge and help you better design your website to reduce the amount of customer service interactions. So it can help you build something. And then finally, it can provide a competitive advantage to your company. Customers, especially younger customers, tend to prefer live chat to other communications methods. And we'll talk about why, like email, social media, and phone. So that can give you a leg up over your competitors that lack such an option. So that's basically what we're going to talk about today. But we're going to dive down into some deeper detail to walk through some of the components of each of these solutions and where the pain points are, and more importantly, how to do chat well. Because having chat is simply not enough. You need to do it well. So we're going to cover all that in today's session. Like Scott mentioned, I'm a Microsoft Data Platform MVP, and I'm also a VMware vExpert. I do a lot of technical work, but I'm also a principal consultant at a very small consulting firm called Denny Cherry Associates Consulting. We're kind of a boutique firm in the cloud and data space. So we do a lot with customers, not just with their data and cloud infrastructure, but to kind of help them optimize their business. So that's kind of where my expertise in this space lies. So the downsides of email and phone support are traditional methods. Excuse me, 1 second. I just missed a slide. Sorry about that. So how does providing customer service help? We all know we need to have customer service. It's the direct connections between your customers and your business. This helps you retain customers and hopefully extract more value from them. Even though it costs a lot, providing top-notch customer service allows businesses to better recoup customer acquisition costs by helping those customers spend more money. One example I always like to talk about is I used to work for Comcast Cable, and I think traditionally that organization was known for having kind of really horrific customer service. We did all these really amazing things on the product development side. I got to help build systems to support that. But they were kind of overwhelmed by the negative customer service. And I think one of the things Comcast has done in recent years is move to trying to automate as much of their customer service as possible. And it's taken a decade. It's been roughly a decade since I worked there, but I think their customer service scores are better now than they were, because between a combination of automation and using chat support, the customer service experiences they deliver are much better than they were. Having this kind of customer service, helps you create a loyal following that can refer new customers, serve as customer references, and provide testimonials. The cost to acquire a customer is much higher for a company that doesn't invest a small percentage of its budget in customer service. Investing in customer service can help decrease your customer churn rate. If you're not familiar with churn rate, that's how often you're losing customers. And this reduces the amount you need to spend on new customers and decreases your overall customer acquisition cost. The other aspect of this is customer lifetime value. So this is a pretty important concept when you're running a business. Customer lifetime value represents all of the revenue that you can expect to get from a single customer. Growing this value means your customers either buy more frequently or spend more money for each of their purchases with your business. Um, but there's always room for improvement. One of the things that a lot of organizations lack is the ability to even measure lifetime customer value. So this is something that kind of ties into your customer experience, and building that sort of customer experience lets you measure the lifetime value of the customer. It can also help you prioritize, the treatment, especially if you're in a triage situation, that customer may get in order to, you can help better, kind of, if you think of like airlines with elite frequent flyers, you triage those customers based on their value to the company. But one of the other things about customer service is it's the face of your brand. Whether it's your social media presence, your advertising, your content, and all those other external marketing elements, they make an impression. But the one thing they don't do is your customer service team speaks directly to your customers. So having a good or bad experience there is something that can really help drive that net promoter score that we like to talk about. And this is really a key concept when it comes to your brand image and your loyalty. Nearly 3 out of 5 customers report that good customer service is vital to feel a good commitment towards a brand. So any investment you can make in that customer service team that accurately represents your mission and your strategy is a worthy investment in a wide branding strategy. Like we all know, when humans have a very memorable experience, whether that experience is good or terrible, it's natural to want to shout about it from the rooftops. Back to my Comcast story, I knew one of the things that was really challenging was when people wanted to change their cable lineups or cancel a service. It was incredibly complicated for our customer reps to do that. And it was mainly because our back-end billing system was bad. It really wasn't our customer reps' fault, but it's something I would see all the time. And with review websites and social media, we see like 55% of customers that share their purchase on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and various other social sites. So it's important to understand that we all know businesses and other business decisions are about the bottom line. And we see a lot of cutting, especially in the technology industry right now. But one of the things we want to focus on is those customer experiences. We don't want to lose customers because of bad customer experience. So a positive or negative customer experience can directly impact your company's revenue and growth. So the traditional ways we did email and phone support have some real downsides. The first being long wait times. Phone support can offer more of a human touch, but in the fast-paced world, having live chat is a much more attractive option. One of the reasons why so many customers report that they like to use live chat is that they don't have to wait on hold or listen to that awful hold music. And if they do have to wait for a response, the hold time is typically nowhere near as long. As of 2018, according to Forbes, the wait time for speaking to an agent via live chat was around 48 seconds. One of the other things that's challenging about phone support is it's impossible to be on the line with 2 customers at once. Phone support reps can only help 1 customer at a given time. This is the reason why call centers face the obstacle of longer wait times. And this is a real huge problem for customers. One of the other issues is that live chat's also way more popular amongst younger customers. So young people prefer to use live chat. Studies have shown that 63% of millennials prefer to have their basic support queries answered by live chat versus the traditional channels of phone or email. This is in part due to millennials' tendency to be glued to their phones, but not actually use them as phones. And nearly 52% of chat queries in 2018 were initiated from a mobile device. One of the things that many live chat platforms, and I've seen this on JetBlue, offer is the opportunity to text a chat, which is something that phone support can't deliver. Likewise, email has its own problems. And some of these are security risk. And obviously, one of the things we face is spam. Unsolicited emails can be a risk. Some recipients will shun commercial emails, or they'll think it's just another marketing email. And of course, you do have to update your email with a privacy and data protection disclaimer, which can be distracting from the core message of the email. There are also deliverability issues with email. So undelivered emails are unavoidable, as some of the email addresses may have been inactive or have full inboxes. Uh, there's also a website risk. So if your email does get reported as spam, the company website can be potentially blocked or added to block list. The other things are really kind of the performance of both email and phone. Customer service agents are not necessarily required to respond to emails promptly. Also, there's a long back and forth that's not necessarily going to happen in chat. And this slows down the response. So the longer a customer waits for a response, the more absolute and exhaustive they demand the answer to be. Receiving a templated or a short, unclear message from an agent will not be graciously accepted. This is one of the most common complaints in IT tech support from vendors right now. We have these interactions via email, and as a customer, you fill out a complete case and you've included all these log files and all this detail, and you get a very basic templated response, and you get angry because you did all this work to put together a good case, and the agent really clearly didn't read it. One of the other issues that's frustrating about email is that there's no potential for clarifying questions. Because the process is so back and forth with long wait times, it's much harder to ask, get some understanding around what exactly is going on and how you can help the customer. An email is still kind of a necessary mode of customer communication, but as chat increases, you can hope to switch more and more of your customers to a live chat. So one of the other things about chat is it's not perfect, and a lot of organizations don't implement it correctly. So no company is perfect, and every business is going to make occasional mistakes from working with unhappy customers. One of the challenges of customer service is diffusing someone who's highly frustrated, which leaves a customer service rep with little room for error. Even the most successful brands can be susceptible to having a bad customer service experience if they aren't focused on what the customer really wants. And live chat can be tricky if you implement it wrong. It is definitely highly efficient. It can definitely reduce your phone queues, but there are some built-in roadblocks that can happen to prevent a customer service rep from truly connecting with a customer. Sometimes it can be difficult for experienced phone reps to transition to a chat channel because the differences in soft skills required to be successful. One of the things with chat is you don't have a voice. Your voice is in your writing. Chat demands writing proficiency as well as the ability to multitask on 2 or 3 problems at once. It's important to work on sounding like a human. One of the things customers will get frustrated with is bot chat. And that's not to say that chatbots aren't bad, especially for your initial triage of a customer service case. But as the case goes quickly beyond that initial triage step, you want to get a human involved because that's going to be a better experience for the customer. The other thing that I find frustrates me is when you have a site, you're just maybe on the first page of a site, and you get hit with a chatbot saying, "Can I help you?" That's not really helpful. You want to put those chat boxes in places where customers really need help, or maybe you can identify a way via timing or something like that to launch that chatbot. It's not super helpful just when somebody hits your site to automatically hit them with a chatbot. Those feel kind of spammy. The other thing is if you don't have any help at the end of the support experience, or just like a contact us link with an email that doesn't necessarily tell you that you're going to get help, that's also going to not be a positive experience for the customer. So the goal of this is to provide a positive customer experience, even if you can't resolve the issue immediately. In some ways, you can do that with live chatter by delivering human support for complex queries with those live engagement tools. This will help you do faster support and boost satisfactions. And your agent shouldn't necessarily follow automated instructions, but offer effective guidance and suggestions in a friendly manner. So it's a better interaction even if they can't necessarily help. And that a good example of this is the support case I mentioned, right? If a support rep from say a cloud vendor reads my case and says, "Hey, I read your case. I saw where you were having issues here. Uh, I can't help you now, but I'm escalating with the engineering team uh, to better understand what your problem is." That's a lot better response than, "Hey, did you try, obvious solution that I clearly enunciated in the ticket." So really, it's about putting the chat in the right place, making it useful, and making it human, and building empathy with the customer while you're doing so. So there are a number of ways that live chat can help grow your business. If your customers don't offer live chat or have that low quality chat support that's maybe a bot and on the front page that automatically happens, that gives you the space to implement chat correctly and grow that business. Think about it this way. If you're a customer in a hurry and you're trying to decide between two different vendors, would you pick up the phone and call support to get your questions answered? Or would you be more tempted by the company that was readily available on their website? The classic example I like to talk about with this is, as I mentioned, I work in the IT space, so there are a lot of vendors. And one of the things that will inherently frustrate me, and this tends to happen with very expensive products like large scale storage appliances, is that the companies won't give you a price on their website. And those things do have a lot of configuration options. And there are variable pricing and big time discount structures depending on what you buy. But it's frustrating to me as a customer that I can't necessarily get list pricing from organizations. And I have to go either talk to a sales rep, because a lot of times I know there's going to be a discount involved, but I also want to have a rough idea of what something costs so I can do planning. And that's a really frustrating customer service experience. One of the other things that live chat's helpful with that we've discussed already, and I kind of see a question about it, I'll cover it later, is improving the productivity of customer service agents. Like I mentioned earlier, you can only be on the phone with one customer at a time. Typically, a customer service agent can manage 2 to 3, even up to 5 people, depending on the nature of the support at one time. This improves their productivity. Where this can get tricky is if they have issues that are requiring, a great deal of research or reporting or contacting other individuals in the organization. They may want to stick to one or two customers at a time. But if they're handling a chat queue and it's full of quick and simple, easy questions about product or cost or SKUs and colors and things like that, they can handle up to 5 at once they get pretty comfortable with the tooling. Features in chat handling vary from each tool, and this is one of the important differentiating features of chat software. So you want to look for customer service software that handles your chats, emails, and other support channels all within one tool so those agents can focus and get one place. One of the other things that live chat can help grow your business is it can be made available 24/7. This is challenging. Obviously, you kind of need follow the sun coverage because you can't expect your employees to work 24/7, or some automation in place. And this is a place you want to be really careful. You want to be careful around if you use automation and bots. And we'll talk a little bit more about what I think the impact of AI is going to be on this space later. And I know that's really popular right now with chat, a very popular topic with ChatGPT. But it is something we want to be aware of. But you can cover the whole day, so your customers will have little reason to complain about questions going unheard. You can have a knowledge base there that backs your chat and make it available anytime. And one of the things you want to do if your chat isn't available 24/7 is make it quick and easy to find their customers, to find their way into support documentation. And this can be a good place for a chat bot, where, I have a question about a specific feature of your product, and you can link to there and say, I'll have an agent available, in 4 hours. But right now I can direct you to this. So many times people are perfectly happy to help themselves, but they aren't sure where to find that knowledge. The other aspect of chat and internationalization is translation. So you can have translation built into your chat, and obviously translation is not perfect, but it's better than just trying to staff your customer service organization in every language where you do business. And one of the other things that can support chat, that where chat can help a lot more than other methods, is it can support dynamic changes better than other solutions, because you probably have humans on the other end of the line. They can get more context and information from the customer than traditional methods. It's easier to get that information, and customers like it because it helps them get their questions answered immediately. And this helps them better format queries, so they can give you more information. And one of the things that is most frustrating to those customers is that no one wants to explain the issue they're having over and over again. 72% of customers expect an agent to know their details, including like their support history and product information, without asking for them. So with live chat, the agents can read the text supplied by the customer or reviewing other customer details they may have access to. This includes an indication of which screen the customer is currently viewing and any notes that you have from previous interactions with customer support. During a chat session, some tools will even allow an agent to screen share with a customer, send links or screenshots to help them better understand a set of directions, making everything crystal clear. This information sharing is something that's really valuable. And it's something that's just trickier to do over phone or email. There tends to be more information security concerns around that. And it's something that's pretty important. Many businesses have come in contact with the term digital natives. However, if you haven't heard this term, don't worry. We're going to kind of define this. This was a term invented by Mark Prensky, which is attributed to a group or generation of people who were born, raised, and thrived in the era of existing technology, which includes computers and the internet. The people we typically define with this technology are millennials, Gen Y, and Gen Z. And I'm a young Gen Xer, and I can pretty much say I've been using computers most of my adult life. At least I probably got my first computer when I was 12, and so I'm also very used to working with these technology approaches. But in the general classification of customer service, we don't really tie digital natives refer to an age or a grouping, but this refers to anyone who is more comfortable using technology for everyday activities, spending most of their time on the internet. Previously, customers had to shop around for information before making decisions. But today, when you look for information, you typically do access a search engine to look for information on a product. So it's become very important to have online solutions, and customers are used to getting the answers they want about products in seconds and not hours. With social media, smartphones, and internet access, we pretty much always have information available at our fingertips, which means their buying patterns have been affected as they prefer to shop conveniently from the comfort of their own room, car, plane, wherever. And they have high expectations of an excellent customer experience. Those same customers will also not hesitate to voice their opinions or criticize any company that falls short of these expectations. We always see these, angry customers venting their feelings on Twitter or Facebook. That will definitely tell you a story. Just ask any airline. But one of the things that's kind of interesting is, according to Forrester, more than 70% of today's customers prefer to get their answers from the company's website rather than reaching out to customer support directly. If we narrow this survey to millennials, 84% have used self-service portals for their customer service queries. And what this means is that customers now prefer to sort out their issues by themselves instead of relying on anyone for help. Even though there's a strong demand for self-service support, the innovations that have happened so far are still not enough. So current self-support is typically filled with knowledge-based articles and support forums, which can make it really hard to find that relevant help content. So having that chat in place is something that's really beneficial. Additionally, like the last bullet on the slide, millennials definitely report feeling less stress and pressured when they interact with a live chat feature. And those customers who can get their answers, their questions answered quickly, are definitely likely to spend more money with your organization. And poor support experiences really help drive away customers. I know this 100% from working in cloud computing. I do a lot of work with all of the cloud providers, and unfortunately, I think, and I'm not going to name names because of agreements and stuff. Some of them definitely have better support experience than others, and this really can help lower your net promoter score. How we define bad customer service is simply when a customer feels that their expectations are not met. And there are a number of aspects and indicators of poor customer service, like long wait times, automated systems that make it hard to reach a human agent. Phone trees are absolutely the worst. And I know I fly a lot, and I know with my airline, I know all the ways to defeat the phone tree and get a human on the phone. And having to repeat information multiple times. It's something that we've talked about a lot. People don't want to have to re-explain everything they have. If your customer service is not up to par, this is going to be bad news for your brand. When you have a negative support experience, their customers are quick to voice it. And this is something in a digitally connected world that we have to do. So there are a number of ways you can deliver this improved customer support and be helpful. And one of the ways is offer omnichannel support. So this is our chat, good support for mobile, good support through your app. Have chat, but have the ability for other levels of interaction in your chat. Because sometimes you may have advanced problems and you may need to actually talk to a customer and not just have chat. But if you can do that in the context of the chat, it keeps the customer on your website and keeps them in a more helpful way. Taking advantage of software that's made for this. So using a tool that lets you track all your conversations and switch between those channels easily. And this gives your customer service agents a unified experience where they can seamlessly transition from chat to a phone call all in one interface. And while we talked about email and phone messaging being async in a negative way, chat is asynchronous in a positive way because it's asynchronous with low latency. And that's really the big difference there is that latency in communication. So that time between messages is reduced. The number of messages is also increased. So it becomes easier to extract more information from a customer, which also helps deliver a more targeted and beneficial experience to the customer. So those are all things we want to enable to give better customer service experiences. We want our customers to leave happy, even if we couldn't fix their problem. We want to give them a good experience and help them out. Additionally, the data we're collecting here can help us build overall better customer service experiences. So how do you communicate with your customers? Are you engaging your best customers effectively? Even before a customer has purchased from you, your support channels can have a big impact on the likelihood of conversion. We see a lot of customers, up to 40%, that are more likely to buy from a customer if they're using live chat, even if the customer doesn't use it. So this suggests that the availability of live chat is not just a contact method, but it's an indicator of the approach that a company takes. So businesses that offer live chat are seen as more approachable, helpful, and customer-centric. So your customers do feel better doing business. Also, do you know who your best customers are? Do you know when they're reaching out to you? And are you able to deliver, white glove service to them to help them better understand and deliver support? And it's really a twofold problem there. You need to be able to have enough data to know who your best customers are and have a proactive relationship with them so that they're getting the help that they need. And this is a combination of both sales and customer service that you need to be able to manage this. Having chat is helpful, but also having an excellent website that helps your customers serve common problems. This is something that you can leverage your chat and that data that you're collecting to help you build a better knowledge base and a better FAQ. If your customers know that if you can see that most of your customers are having problems in very specific areas of your product solution, this can help you. This can help you better support those customers and build better support and hopefully even get better SEO so that when your customers have those queries that they type into Google or Bing, you're going to have better and faster resolution of their issues. And then finally, are you building loyalty and growing awareness of your brand? By giving those positive customer service experiences that happen quickly and deliver good outcomes to your customers, that will help you build loyalty. This can help you improve customer retention, and it will help you keep those customers loyal. Especially, one of the things you can do is engage those customers proactively. And this is kind of how you design your chat is very important. So if you can identify patterns of where your customers really need the help, and then you engage them on your site, that's something that can be really beneficial because that's going to deliver what that customer needs at the time they need it. And it doesn't just feel salesy or spammy. It feels like this company is really trying to help me and they got me the right answer that I needed in a hurry. And I was able to resolve my issue quickly. In a recent Nielsen Chief Marketing Officer report, 76% of respondents said that customer loyalty campaigns were extremely or very important. And it's not unusual for organizations to try to balance marketing budgets and the value of loyalty marketing versus customer acquisition. I think where we see this probably most commonly is in the cell phone space, where companies will offer new customers excellent deals while kind of jacking up the prices on existing customers. But it's important to know that your best customers can often drive incremental revenue more quickly than acquiring new customers. Obviously, you have to balance both of these to have a successful business. But these, even the most loyal customers can wane. So it's important to kind of understand the dynamics of your customers. Those customers are constantly changing as they move throughout their day and their lives. If you think about your average day and how it changes from the morning as you get ready to go to work to the end of the day, or parents who are juggling jobs and trying to cook dinner for their kids, these are all important things. And listening to your customers isn't just about hearing their problems. It's not just picking up the phone or answering the ringing bell at the customer at the call center. It's about connecting with your customers. It involves paying really close attention to their needs and understanding how you can help them achieve your goals. This means that you have to have really good service reps, and your service reps have to be close to your engineering staff so that they can understand why things are happening and can reach out to them and get better answers as to why something is happening. And your best service reps are excellent listeners, and in the case of chat, they're excellent readers. They need to be able to recall relevant details that were mentioned earlier in the case and are consistently in tune with the customer's emotion. And this is something that is a little bit more difficult in chat, and that's why it is important to have such a good reading and writing skills there. We want to reduce the amount of friction. And one of the things your reps need to do is let the customers type and not just offer canned responses immediately, because that's going to frustrate the customer. Even if the rep knows what the solution is, if you're interrupting them and ask, it makes you look impatient. So it's better to wait until the customer is done typing, as you never really know what information they have that could alter the case. You could get something at the last minute that makes it completely different. And then finally, no one likes to hear "I told you so," especially your customers. Even if your rep knows the perfect solution as soon as the case is started, they need to be careful about how they position it. Saying the right thing at the wrong time can really derail a customer service case. You want to be timely, but you also need to pay attention to the person who's asking as well as the problem. This requires emotional intelligence, and this will help determine how the customer reacts to different responses at different times. And this will let these relationships that you're building and this empathy that your reps are showing will help those reps give the advice that the customers feel they can trust and build that loyalty with your customer. This is really where you build that value in customer loyalty. Taking this to the next level and how we build this. So you need to not just meet your customer expectations, you need to exceed them. You want to get rid of all necessary hurdles if it's possible. And there are caveats to this because you want to know who your customers are. But one of the things you want to do, if possible, especially with early sales and new leads, is don't necessarily make customers set up an account or log in until you've proven that the quality of your support is worth their identity. One of the problems that can happen here is, like, if a customer is irritated, they're bound to become more angry if they can't start a conversation until they've found a long lost password or had to set up a new account. One of the other things is the key to excellent support. Customer support is a happy team, and one that can count on a solid source of information and good knowledge base and help the customers using reliable tools. If your support agents don't have good tools, they're constantly scrambling for answers, they're going to be frustrated, and it means your customers are ultimately going to be frustrated and they're not going to have a great experience. So you want your support agents to feel secure and confident when they have good tools, ready to use processes, and helping maintain that great atmosphere amongst your customer service team will do wonders for the way it performs. It's not just about the tool set anymore. It's about that attitude. And those agents should be empowered to deliver answers and get access to the right people to help them answer those hard questions that customers may have. So support has evolved a long way, and this is something that is where we're going to talk a little bit AI. When I think when I built this deck, ChatGPT had just been announced, and obviously, large language models and ChatGPT are something that is all the buzz right now, whether it's in investment circles and software circles. And this is one of the places, obviously, where it can have potential benefit. However, I will say, working as I do in the computer space, I don't feel confident that AI will be able to replace a very knowledgeable customer service agent anytime soon. I think it can really potentially help you do some triaging and funneling, but I think ultimately to help your customers solve problems, it's going to be important to have trained customer service agents on the other end of that AI. So better knowledge bases and troubleshooting charts have helped make this support more intelligent over time. And that simply means we can use a chatbot to front end our customer support and help ensure that, especially if you have a larger team where you have people who are focused in specific areas, where you can get that new query coming in to go to the right person or a group of people so that you can get faster answers. I think AI technology will change this. And where this is going to be really beneficial is if you have that good knowledge base, you will be able to develop better solutions. An AI and large language model is only as good as the input and training data that you put into it. So if you have really high quality knowledge bases and information and FAQs about your product, that's something that will really further enable your organization to take advantage of those automations. And then finally, I think something that we've talked about a little bit today, but is really important and a really important aspect of this whole live chat experience is you want to be able to extract customer sentiment, feedback, and churn risk from the data that you're getting from all these live chat support sessions. This can help you build better customer service experiences. It can help you identify weaknesses in your product. And I think ultimately, while we're giving a better customer service experience, this is the key bit of information that really long-term helps you benefit chat experiences. So beyond your customers, especially for larger organizations, one of the things a lot of organizations have chosen to do is take advantage of using chat for your internal productivity for common business problems. Obviously, IT help desk is a common solution where we see a lot of these automated chat solutions or chat. But there are other use cases, including basic HR. How much money is in your health spending account? Questions around open enrollment. These can all be really good use cases. And this offers the same benefits we've talked about with your own employees that we've had with external customers. By delivering real-time solutions, this will improve your employee satisfaction. It'll kill some of the overhead of long processes that the organization may face. And just overall, you can take advantage of all the same things that we talked about for external customers. Now, how do we implement these solutions? And this is, I think, very, very important to do. Like, this is not something you want to take lightly. It's because I've seen, working in the technology space, I have seen the demos from software providers that are like, oh, hey, look, just click, boom, and you have chat implemented on your website. I don't think you can just do that. You can, but everybody's going to have a poor experience. So the first is have the right information and people. It's very important to have a big detailed knowledge base about your product. And this knowledge base needs to be a living set of documentation that grows and changes over time as your products evolve, as your customers use your products in different ways. You need to have good understanding of the use case. And this is something that will get built up over time as you improve your customer service. It's also important to have the right people. We mentioned earlier, being a phone rep is very different than being a chat rep. Your reading and writing skills are of key importance. Being able to convey that tone so that customers get a good chat experience is really important. Secondly, we want to design the experience really well. I mentioned my disdain for as soon as I log into a website, having a chat bot pop up and ask me if I need help. That doesn't really help your customers. You want to place your chat in the places where your customers may be struggling. And this may be a combination of timing. It may be landing on certain pages where they need support. It may be proactively prompting them if they would like to have a chat, but not necessarily forcing it on them. Understand what your strategy is around chat and what customer service aims you want to get and what results you're looking for. I don't think you can build without measuring, and this gives you what to measure. And then measure. The only way to improve processes is to capture that data and measure it. This ties back into your understanding. You need to know what metrics you're aiming for and measure against those. These metrics may evolve over time as your chat experience evolves. And finally, never stop training. You always want to train your reps. And this is where taking advantage of that data to do analytics on things like customer semantics and sentiment analysis can really help you get the most out of the data within your chat. So to close, before we take some questions, your customer service is very important. Obviously, it ties into so many important business metrics, but reducing customer churn, retaining customers, increasing the lifetime value of those customers, these are all super important metrics to the success of your business. And just the general net promoter score and making everybody happy. If your customers are happy, your employees are going to be happy, and your business is going to be more successful. You need the right tools and training before you implement chat. Like we mentioned, this is very different than phone or email service. The importance of tone, the importance of empathy and understanding what the customer is feeling at the time, These are all kind of key aspects. You don't necessarily need to be a psychologist to be a chat support person, but you need to have a little bit of understanding of what that customer is feeling and how you can best help them. One of the major benefits of chat, and probably I think ultimately one of the bigger to the benefits, it really gives you better service and deeper insights into your customer behavior. Having these more rigorous interactions with your customers will better allow you to see what customers are doing, which can even help you potentially identify business development angles and build better products in the future, improve customer service, all of those things. And chat just gives you more context around it, and it lets you capture that whole experience in a relatively easy fashion. It's also going to give you happier customers because they're going to get faster resolutions. And this is going to in turn give you those higher net promoter scores that everyone is looking for. So with that, I'll wrap. And Scott, do we have any questions out there?
Yeah, we do. Joey, great overview of the issues and options around integrating chat there. It's so complex because it mixes technology with business considerations, and then so much of it is all the consumer psychology stuff that you mentioned. It's really difficult, but you really hit on a lot of key points to think about here. Appreciate it. My first question, of course, is you mentioned being young Gen Xer with a first computer around age 12. So what was that computer?
Oh God, I didn't honestly remember the brand. It was a 386 with like 2 meg of memory and I think like a 16
Okay,
megahertz processor.
gotcha. All right. Uh, yeah, TRS 80 color computer for me with 4K of RAM.
I do remember the
Um,
TRS-80,
so
and
uh,
I think I used an Apple IIe before I had my own computer, so that
oh
was
yeah.
probably technically my first one.
So we had a question here from Jadeep. It's an interesting question about multitasking. So you had mentioned some of that, people being able to handle, you know, one or two interactions, if they're sort of complex, up to five. And Jadeep's question is dealing with multiple customers, does it lead to distracted service with possibilities of errors? And he's talking about some of the multitasking research about it leading to shoddy work. Are there any best practices around that, or what did you find?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the big thing is if you're working with in-depth cases and customers that are dealing with really challenging problems, you probably do want to limit yourself to one or two your reps to one or two customer management at a time. Uh, if
Yeah,
they're dealing with very lightweight queries, this kind of feels like database engines. If they're dealing with yes no questions or questions about product SKUs, I think that's where they can handle 3, 4, or 5. And some of this is going to be tooling to you and how good your tooling is at supporting that experience for the customer service agent.
okay, all right, great. um, there's another question from Jadeep that I wanted to get to, and then we'll get to some questions from other folks. But you talked a little bit about that follow the sun issue, and he's wondering about whether cultural issues play a role. When you've got support from all over the sun, or from all over the world. Did you run anything across anything in your research here that talks about the importance of having reps at least for audio interactions that are in the same place as the customers they're serving?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that those are definitely hurdles, and having worked internationally kind of extensively, uh, I think it's one of those things that's really going to depend on the scale of your business because this is something that's hard to scale up. But once you reach a certain level of international sales, it really is important to have some customer service presence, especially in your larger markets, wherever those be around the world. So, A, you can give native language support. B, you have people in the right time zones, and just C, just to overcome some of those cultural challenges that may be encountered in various language formats. A lot of us speak English around the world. A lot of us speak Spanish. Those dialects are very different in various countries. So as your business grows into those countries, I think that's something that's important to evaluate and think about.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Uh, Another one here from Deepak, who's asking, How does this chatbot solution ensure that context is accurately identified?
Large language models and programming. This is determining context is really hard. To take it back a little bit to my computer science stuff, uh, what you're trying to do here is detect kind of both sentiment and content from a text string. And while there are models that can do that, and a lot of what machine learning and AI is kind of designed to do is very much in this space. It's like, how does the customer feel, and what can I do to help the customer next? Uh, this is a lot. The sentiment thing's a little bit easier because it's you can kind of detect that from words that are used. Uh,
Hmm.
the context, though, I think is really dependent on your knowledge base. And if you have a good knowledge base that's backing any chatbot solution you have before you get to a rep, that should help that keyword analysis better determine the context of the question that the customer is asking. Because effectively, you're looking at the keywords to tie that back into your knowledge base. And you can also, in your knowledge base, typically apply tags to various fields, and those can be dynamically matched.
Okay. Now, Lynn has an interesting question here. They're wondering how how to better manage multiple channels using chat features. They're talking about the way businesses are using, social media, email, phone, and chat to communicate with customers. And Lynn's comment is, managing all those channels can be overwhelming and time consuming. Any best practices that you can recommend or
Yeah.
approaches?
One of the things I would say is talk to our sponsor today. The tool. This is an area where the vendors like Sendbird have a lot of good solutions to offer your businesses. You want to have a consolidated experience because you do kind of have to be omni-channel. You do have to be in all of those channels, and having one kind of consolidated workflow, whether that be connections to your CRM system, uh, or one centralized application where your customer service reps can see everything, lets them do that unified support case, and ties everything together in a more unified fashion. A lot of traditionally this was all in the realm of CRM systems, but it's something we're seeing kind of more modern systems that tie all those external and internal solutions together.
Okay. Well, Joey, I think that's a great place to leave it. Thanks for putting together a really informative presentation here today, and for all these insights in the Q&A. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Scott. It was great. Nice talking to everyone.
All right, and of course, it is for all the things that we're talking about, just like Joey mentioned, Scentbird has products and solutions for supercharging your customer support. So they've got products for chat, notifications, unified inboxes for customer communications, voice and video calling API and SDKs, live video streaming, and messaging first support. So, in addition to the broad solutions, the horizontal ones, they've got verticals for financials, digital health, marketplaces, on-demand services, retail, social, and communities. So, they've been around helping companies, support their customers since 2013 with more than 300 million monthly active users and 6 billion monthly messages. So, if you're interested in learning more, be sure to check out that link there in your handouts, and you can find out more about Sendbird. Now, before we wrap up, we have one more piece of business. It is our $250 Amazon gift card prize drawing, and the winner today is Danny Zhao from Texas. So congratulations to Danny. We'll be in touch to get you your card. And with that, on behalf of the Actual Tech Media team, I want to thank Sendbird for making this event possible. Again, I want to thank Joey for a great presentation. And thanks as always for attending and for all your great questions. That concludes today's event. Have a fantastic rest of your day.